In this episode, I want to go over how we help one of our most recent clients get $35,000 in revenue out of spending $1,000 and 35 cents in a span of 1 week, like 7 days, and through helping her generate 18 color. And this case study is really relevant for me, and I'm excited to share this how we made that happen for her specifically, because this was one of those clients that when she came on board, she was very skeptical. She didn't know that art would work itself. And the reason why is simple. She had her ad account shut down during COVID-19. And since then, even though she created a backup account afterwards, she couldn't really figure out that. She's kept hiring different agencies, but see, results were not profitable. And she told me on our first on the onboarding call, she was like, Joly, I haven't had a working funnel in over 2 years now. And I really want this to work, but a part of me doesn't really believe that it can actually work because I'm kind of tired. I'm burned out. I've tried this so many times in the past, and let's just see what happens. But my hopes are not that high, to be honest with you. And I was kind of shocked when she shared that with me because when client come on board, they're really excited. They have high expectations. But she was really like, I really, I'm not sure about this, so I trust you and the team to do what you know is gonna make this campaign work. And I guess that was one of the key for this campaign to be successful because she really trusted us and she gave us like free, you know, autonomy in terms of what we design to make her campaign work. And this case study is also very specific because it was a high level client. She's a public figure, she's a national TV host, international public speaker. Uh, in the past, she was a New York attorney. So she's really, her face is out there and she has a really well known brand. And that's one of the reasons why I won't share her name here just for sake of her privacy. But that's also one of the reasons why her marketing was really specific. We needed to be compliant, we needed to have a messaging that was really crystallized and that was designed to get her offer, her messaging, her transformation in front of her ideal target market. And something which I also want to emphasize, and the reason why she came to us and asking us to help her get to the next level is really because even though she had a huge brand and she, had was seen daily on the TV, she was living primarily on referrals, word of mouth. And she was like, you know what, I want some predictability. I want to know that I'm going to make this amount of money out of the business. I don't want a roller coaster month. And I don't want to feel like I'm just dependent on someone referring me to a new client. And that's also a gap in understanding, which I see quite often when I speak with entrepreneurs, especially online coaches and consultants. There's this misunderstanding or this myth that if you are good at what you do, people are just going to find you somehow. You're just going to live out of referral. Of course, you can make money with referral. You can have a healthy business referral. But if you're someone that's actually in a scaling season, you want to grow and and have that predictable and sustainable growth, then you need to actually use ads. For me, ads are the best vehicle, to really help you scale your impact and your income in a way that's predictable and profitable when you do things properly. And so that's also that we have to have, we build this machine so that it will allow her to not have, because she's traveling all over the world for speaking engagement, hosting conferences and events. So we needed to create a system that could work with her without her having to be there all the time, shooting content and all the things. We need to have a predictable evergreen machine designed to propel her clients acquisition to the next level. And so coming then, so this episode is really going to be very powerful for you if you're someone that sells a high ticket offer like this client did. You're in a season where you want to leverage the power of ads to put your offer in front of more of your ideal client. You know that your offer delivers incredible result, but you just lack that, little thing that's gonna push it to the next level. And that's why I have the podcast. That's why we are here, because I really want you to have it behind the scenes in terms of what's actually working right now for our clients. So you are not navigating this space with the guesswork, because there's a lot of information out there and it's sometimes hard to decipher, okay, what do I implement, what does apply to my business. It's a lot. With technology and how fast platform change, information is also, strategy are also getting outdated really fast. So this podcast is really the place where I want you to come to if you want to have actionable, proven, timely strategy that you need to leverage to scale your income and your impact, leveraging primarily the Meta platform and the YouTube platform, right? Because we primarily focus here on paid media because I believe it's the fastest way for you to grow. So coming back with this client, something that we were acutely aware of is that in the past, she had worked with other agencies. She had tried free agency that puts money on tactics. So looking at what she had, we first started by looking at her data, looking at, okay, what worked, what didn't work, how her funnel was designed, and how her messaging was even designed. Because something that we do before we launch any campaign, when a client comes on board, we have this interview that we have for them to really uncover who the ideal target market is and what's the unique selling position, when it comes to serving that audience. And something with this client specifically is the fact that she didn't really she didn't have a lot of clarity around who her offer was the best for. So she had three avatar and she was like, her offer will actually work for these three people. And she was like, okay, they can work for it. So she's helping people, launch and scale their business online. And she was like, okay, I can work with either entrepreneurs that are in a season where they want to scale. They have an offer that works where they want to, increase in visibility because I can teach them how to go on stages. I can teach them how to build an audience online, because that's what she had done. So that's one of my own. But also work but currently in the corporate world, I want to transition online because I've done that in the past. But I can just help people that are always in a stage where they are making 10, 15K, 50K, and then really get to the next level question was travel as well. And so really being able to say, well, what does your offer deliver in terms of result and transformation, and who is the target audience that's going to be able to have the fastest transformation when they work with you, who do you enjoy working most with, right? Because sometimes that's what I see hard for a lot of entrepreneurs. They are struggling to really pinpoint exactly who they should work with. Because if you're anything like me, you started the business because you wanted to have an impact. You wanted to, you saw a problem and you thought, okay, I'm going to have social discussion. And so you wear your heart on your sleeves and you want to help everybody, with your offer. And that can be a good strength if you're in a season where you actually want to scale in a way that's predictable and sustainable. Why? Because your messaging is everything. And your messaging has to be able to go out there and really grab your target audience by the jugular and force them to pay attention. Not just pay attention, but actually convert on the back end, right? And so my invitation to you is really to stop when you are in that phase where you feel like, oh, this can actually help everybody. I want you to stop and ask yourself, what? Let me just go back and look at who I've worked with the past, who did I enjoy the working the most with? Who has gotten the best, the fastest with working with me? And also who is able to afford my program? Because if you are selling a high ticket program, I mean, it is what it is, right? If someone is, no matter how much you want to serve them, maybe they are in a season where they can actually invest in what you have in your solution. So that's very important because also when you invest in ads, there's that question of, okay, what's the ROI, And so it's just for the number to work, you need to be aware of those different elements. So that's one thing that we work on, really defining who our target market was. That Olympian buyers were buyer, right? And the second part was really understanding the process, how to package expertise into a unique selling proposition that was actually marketable. Because sometimes, this is what I help people do, but how can I actually turn that into a compelling message, come up with different marketing angle to grab that process from, different pain point, different persuasion to really get them to pay attention. And this is also very important, even more now with Andromeda update, with Meta Andromeda, because now on the Meta platform specifically, your messaging is everything, your creating is everything. It's not really much about obsessing about over your marketing, it's really obsessing over how many angles can you pull from the same marketing message, right? So that's something that we also had to pull out because she wasn't really clear. And so really having that interview that we do during the onboarding process with all of our and really help us understand, how to talk to our target market. And so other thing as well that we look at is her entire funnel. Something which I always say is that your ads, if they're not performing at the level at which you want them to, it rarely comes down to what the ad itself. If you, especially if you are someone that has spent money on ad for some time, and you are getting some results, but they are just like lackluster result. Sometimes what you want to do is really step back from the ad account and look at your entire marketing funnel, you know, how the entire customer journey, what do they see, what do they hear, what do they learn, how's the customer experience, how does the backend look like, how fast does your page load, what's the watch rate on the video, all of those things, how you in finance they have the debt by thousand cuts where you just spend money and you're like, oh my god, what's my money? Where my money went. It's the same with your marketing. Sometimes an ad strategy fails not because the ad didn't work, but because the entire funnel was faulty. There was so many bottleneck. And what I like to say is that ads are an amplifier, right? They are going to expose all the flaws in business, your offer, your messaging, your funnel, your backend, your sales ability, your sales team, your leadership skills. Ads are going to expose everything. And so what we did for her was really looking at, okay, let's rebuild the funnel because the funnel was not converting. It was really low APIs in terms of opt-in page, because it was a call for people to go to design a funnel in 3 steps where people will go from the ads, land on the opt-in page, watch the VSL, after the opt-in, go and fill out the application form, schedule a call, and get on a call with her. And so we started by launching that specifically, and then we also, because we noticed that her conversion rates were really low across the funnel, so opt-in rate, VSL, everything was really low. So we created a new VSL for her. That's what we do to people when a client comes and they're launching call funnel, because if there's an age, trust is at all-time low, and so things that used to work even 2 years ago no longer work. And so we always like to really have our new understanding and framework. We like to script, whether that's VSL, whether that's video ads for our client, and just give them prompts that they can go and record, which is what we did for her. But we usually people do the whole thing because they get an infrastructure, right? That we place into your company so that we can scale after even after we leave, right? So it's not like, okay, you're gonna stay for years or months and pay retainer. It's like, okay, we can build something that's ready to go, and you can just keep on putting more money in and it's really keep it running and producing results for you and for you. That was one thing. Looking at her emails, but she had a really low opening rate on her emails because she wasn't emailing consistently her list. So we knew we couldn't just rely, because again, because of her email deliverability, we knew we couldn't rely on just emails to get her message in front of her people and we're opting. So we set up an SMS and marketing system for her, so we could be able to really be in front of those prospects as soon as they would come through the door. And there were a couple of situations that we did for her, to be honest, because one thing that you want to understand with ads, and that's also why I want to share this case study with you, because it was not we've launched the campaign and we've got the leads and she closed the lead and everything is perfect. Yay, that's a success. Absolutely not. We had to go through a couple of iterations, which is absolutely normal, because she was freaking out. She was like, oh, we've launched the ads and we haven't had a call schedule that is in 48 hours. What's happening? I was like, that's just part of the process, and there's nothing wrong, right? And when it comes to iteration, a couple of things that we had to do. Of course, I'm skipping a lot of stuff because again, we have the ad script, the image ads, the video ads, all the things, right? That we created for her. And something that's also important to really emphasize here is that sometimes when you launch your ads, just because you don't want as fast as you want them to, doesn't mean that there's something wrong, doesn't mean that ad don't work for the business. Something which I always advise when I'm consulting a company or I'm working with my team on the client account is really to look at the bottleneck and really looking at what the data is telling you. And I guess that's just how my brain works, because I have a background in data science. And I always go back to the numbers and what the data is telling us. And so when we launched our funnel initially, we realized that, okay, we're getting people to opt-in, but not a really good opt-in rate. The cost per opt-in was like $5-7 range, which was really healthy for 15K offer, right? and they will watch the Facebook video. They will really watch the video. They had a really good like 70% engagement of the video, but they wouldn't schedule a call. They would stop at the application step, right? And we're like, okay, that's the biggest moment. They like the video, they engage, but they don't apply. And so we changed the format of the application. We went from a 10 question application page to a 6 question application page. And that really changed the game. And we also went from, instead of starting with asking them the name and email and all the things, we actually switched and started by asking them just what they can consider yes and no. That's really to get them really those dopamine feedback for them just to reply and move through the process. And that's really allowed us to start getting people through the door just by changing the format and making the application page a bit more tight. Was amazing. Something as well that allows us to improve our cost because we got a cost per call book at $58 each. Those were qualified call that shop for the call, which is amazing. Typically industry range is anywhere from 200 to $150. So that was amazing. And so that was one of the things that we did. We also on her video or her VSL page realized that people actually increase the engagement on the VSL itself because we knew people were coming in, but not all of them were watching the video. So we also added a really nice thumbnail just to get them to click. We had like a video thumbnail on the video, and we changed the HTML of the video to really make it more popping, more compelling as well for the viewer to watch. And on the process after someone moves, right, you add a system where on the thank you page, they'll have not only testimonial of people who had worked with Monique, what they had to say about her result, what they had to say about the transformation working with her, but also we add FAQ. Okay, we're going to ask questions because sometimes when people come on your call, they have limiting belief, they are on the fence. They're not sure if they actually want to invest with you, that kind of shopping, right? So we really wanted to address as many objections as we could after they came through. So not only had those testimonials on the thank you page and objection handling FAQ at the bottom, but in the email sequence that went out afterward, we really made it a point to really share more of her story, why she did what she did, what type of product that will get working with her, addressing the financial all of the operational activity come up, and that's really helped get people on the call that were already very sort of working with her. Something that we also did is to, after someone will schedule a call, which one of which they will schedule a call in which the call will happen, they will see at least between 15 to 30 pieces of content of the So you had the targeting ad coming out so often, and because you wanted to have that, you wanted to the top of mind before someone got on the call. Again, when someone schedules a call with you, because we're going for a completely cold audience, right? When you get a stranger to schedule a call with you, that's just the first step. And that's where a lot of people stop and think, oh, I've got a call schedule. That's amazing. They're close. And they end up with a 30% show rate. They end up with a 10% closing ratio, which is quite low, right? And we didn't want that to happen for her. We wanted it for any of our clients for that matter. And that's the reason why after someone who schedule had a very intense targeting strategy so that you top of mind. And they'll just come on call, come on the call thinking she's an authority, she's a public figure, she's the real deal, which is always what you want. Whenever a client comes on with you on the call, I always say the role of marketing is to make sales easier because marketing is selling in a way, right? Marketing is kind of selling subliminally. And so that when someone gets on the call, they always say that, okay, I've seen you, I know what you do, and I know why I can trust you, what do I invest. And that's one of the reasons why when people sometimes ask about, okay, why go organic marketing or paid marketing, you can do both, and you can also when you're thinking about your paid strategy, I want you to ask yourself what makes someone buy when they have no clue who you are if you're using organic, right? Typically it's because they've consumed your content so much they feel like, oh my god, I know her, I trust her, I like her, she's the best option, I want to say I'm gonna go to her because she's been giving me so much value. And that's basically what you want to replicate if you want your paid ads to be successful. Gone are the days where you could just slap an ad, say, here's what I've got, go and buy it. Not happening anymore, especially in 2026 and beyond. That's not gonna happen. You need to lead with value, you need to lead with story, you need to be an excellent storyteller. Because the better you are telling the story of why you got started and why this thing is different and whatever program you were able to get for your client, where they were, and what vision you see for your potential client that will come through the door, what's transformation. The more you storytell or you work with someone who can help you storytell, like we did for these clients specifically, the easier it's going to be for you to actually convert that goal, that cold audience into client. So the storytelling with this client specifically, we had it done on the front end before we went show. So you had the awareness ads that were just video ads, building that excitement and that anticipation. We had a conversion campaign, getting people actually had watched the initial content, story based, positioning authority. We had then seen the conversion campaign, right? And this conversion campaign was designed to get them to go watch the VSL, apply and schedule the call. And then we had our targeting content that was really designed to be like top of mind, get them excited, get them pumped to shop for the product. As a result, we had an 80% show it on her call, which is unheard of, right? On the call audience, 80%, because not only we had the targeting going with the ads, we had the emails, we had the SMS sequence as well. So we literally made it unreasonable for someone not to shop on the call. But only they showed up for the call, but they showed, they were pumped, they were excited, they were happy to be there. They were like, oh my God, I've been seeing you everywhere. I need to work with you. And as a result, of course, it was about 45%. And that's how she ended up with a 35K week of us launching this campaign. So that's again a couple of things that I really wanted to emphasize because results can happen really fast once you figure out a couple of things. And for this client specifically, it wasn't a type of okay, we launched it work, and we had to go back to drawing board and think, okay, this didn't work, or what can we do else? Right? We looked at her ads, okay, what's the message? Let's come up with new creative, and we send her more video ad scripts so she could record those for us. We worked on her email, we made sure that her ads were compliant because as an attorney, she really wanted to make sure that her ads were bulletproof at that level. And we had to go back and review the funnel a couple of times. We had to go back and change the layout and change the process, change a couple of things. And that's something that you need to be willing to do when you are running paid media. You can't be lazy. You can't just be like, oh, if launch it's not working, it adds up work on my business. No, the that's never the thought that I want you to have. I want you to think, okay, it hasn't worked. Why hasn't it worked? Because if you just drop the towel and you just throw it out and say, okay, it hasn't worked, doesn't work, I don't work on my business, you deprive yourself of the ability to learn and to get better. Because for every single test that doesn't work, it teaches you something. It teaches you what not to do next, which is just as powerful as what to do. Like in my book, what not to do is incredibly powerful because it informs every decision that you do afterwards. And there's not such a thing as a failure when you launch a campaign, it's just feedback. You look at what works, you do more of that. You look at what hasn't worked, you do less of that. Even in terms of our targeting, right? We had a couple of hypotheses when it came to the targeting. Well, a couple of them didn't work. And we're like, okay, those were just interest that we imagine that we thought would work for our target audience specifically. We are getting high costs. The application those are not even showing up for the call. Let's tweak it a bit more. Let's change it. So that's really what I want you to have in mind because if you want to thrive with your ad strategy in 2026, it's really going to require you to be a bit more aggressive. As you are scaling, it's going to require you to be a bit more data driven and really leave the feeling out of the door. Because I remember when I was having the team and I were having a call with Monique, she was like, okay, is everything okay? Are you sure that this is going to work? Because we haven't gotten the leads, we are getting the leads, but we are not, she was really anxious. And in that season, in those calls, it was really important to remind her that that's just part of the process. That's just how these things work. Again, when you are launching your company, you want to remember that you're having an hypothesis and you go to market that you're testing your hypothesis, you're testing your messaging. And there's so many variables that are included in an ad. So sometimes it's like takes off like this and it's amazing. Sometimes it takes a lot bit more, tweaking. So now we are in the phase where we are scaling yeah, we went from having 18 calls a week to now having like 13 calls a day, which is phenomenal. And we are reading the goal for her is that I want to get at least 100 qualified call happening every single month because I want to scale this business. So have $1 million a month. So that's the vision by the end of the year. But I wanted to really take a step back because I'm not doing a good job sometimes at really I know I share a lot of the strategy with you guys, but I don't always come back and be like, oh, this is what we are doing, here are the results, here's what we did in real time. Sometimes I'm so head down into the doing and the leading the team and looking at what's happening and putting out fires on our client account. I just completely forget to actually come back and really report on what's happening. So that's like a 73x on ad spend. I'm just gonna share my screen really quick here to show you actually how it looks like, so you can just have a peek at her ad account and how it's structured. If you're listening to the episode, you might have to come on YouTube for this section specifically, but I want to keep it at the end so that so here you can see from December 24th to January 2nd, we had 18 calls scheduled at $56 per call. And these calls are primarily coming, if I get into the ad section, they're coming primarily from two audiences, and we tested a whole lot more than these, right? But these were the ones who were actually driving the best results. And if you look at the creative, you can see that we had a combination of image ad and video ads. And sometimes in order to actually have something that works, you have to go through a lot of testing and iteration. And so that's really at the end of the day what we're able to pull out that really allow us to. And now we are scaling that even at a higher level because we already found the formula. And that's the beauty of paid media. The beauty with paid media is that sometimes it takes a bit of the time to find out the right combination. But once you do, it's game over. It's like, okay, now let's go. It's go time, You put more fuel on the fire and it just explodes from there. And so yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you. And takeaway here is really for me, what I want to share is to visibility is everything. If you are in a season where you want to scale, you want to combine visibility with strategy, with strategic execution. If you are in a season where you want to build a transmission system that scales and that scales profitably. And also something that's very important is that you need to be patient. You need to be patient, and you need to have a framework. You need to have a framework to understand, okay, I've launched this thing, it's not working as I imagine. Here's what I need to do, and have just kind of a step by step. Okay, here's what I need to do first, here's what I need to do next. What's within KPIs, what's not, what's the biggest bottleneck, and as you attack those bottlenecks one at a time, you're gonna get to a place. And when I say in a place, it took us 1 week. So we launched our campaign mid of December. The first that from December 10 when we launched our campaign, so December 17, we saw okay, traffic is coming. What's the number telling us? We changed the application form, we changed the VSL, we changed the thank you page, we changed the opt-in page, even the layout. We added a couple of authority positioning element. And so after 1 week afterward, then that's when we started getting. We got that 18 call schedule in the next week, and from there now we're getting 13 calls scheduled in 1 day, which is phenomenal, right? So I want to share this with you because again, this is what the podcast is there for. If you're looking for someone who can come in and implement a strategy to help you get your business to the next level in a way that allow you to really keep your peace and your profit, someone that's going to help you really build a predictable client acquisition machine that's going to help you really generate more income, have more impact, have more freedom, and fall back in love with your business. Because the reason why I really love this case study with Monique is because she was in a place where she had fallen out of love in her ability. She stopped trusting her ability to get clients predictably. She has fallen out of love with that mission because she was thinking, okay, this is very unreliable, it's unpredictable. I want to launch new product. I want to do venture, joint partnership, joint ventures, but I really can't because I'm not even in the season where not even in the place where I can sell this thing consistently. So how can I possibly bring more people and do joint ventures when I haven't figured out how to sell this thing consistently? So this was I love this because it really allows her to get her peace of mind back and trust back the ability to actually sell, and also realize that her offer was valuable. Because as an entrepreneur, when you can sell what you've created, there's that part of you that thinks, oh, is what I've done even valuable? Is this even, maybe it's obsolete, maybe I'm not that skilled at what I do. So that's why I really love this case study, because it's really allowed her to be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it is working. She was so excited all the time. The people are showing up for the call. They are excited to work with me. They want to invest. It's amazing. So it's been a beautiful journey that's going on. I just want to, again, just have a minute to share with you what's happening. And I'm going to keep on updating you as we work with this account and what's happening maybe every other month, or I'm definitely going to share more case studies like this so that you know in real time what's happening. So that's it for this video, for this episode. If you want our help, my team and I help you as a consultant coming and helping you figure these things out, keep your team accountable to delivering at a higher level, or coming and be a bit more hands-on when it comes to really helping you propel your income impact to the next level. Reach out, go to jobanconsulting.co/demo and schedule a call to speak with the team. We love to help you, we love to support you. And yeah, thank you so much for listening. If you got value, make sure to share this with someone that can help. Because again, I believe that as a business, these strategies are designed to make us not just survive but thrive in time that can sometimes feel uncertain. Thank you so much for being here. We'll see you in the next one.